Welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills and today's segment of hirley.finance.com. I am Tia Young, co-hosting today's show with Dr. Shirley Luu, CEO of Shirley Luu Finance, LLC. Today we are going to talk about some financial decisions you need to consider in 2018 for your business and for your family. So Shirley, we're going to get started. We've got a lot to talk about today.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have just gotten back from Jumpstart in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
So tell us, what was that about?
Oh, man, it was one of those 12 years in the business with, our company. And for the first time, Tia, I just felt that really re-energized, refocused of all the things that we want to do for 2018. And the financial education out there right now for things that happened within the past couple of days just make me felt that this is much stronger crusade and mission that my team and I really want to do for 2018 and beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, before we get into some things about 2018, I just have this feeling that some of our viewers would like to know what your day is like. So rather than go back to 2017, let's just say the last couple of days, today and yesterday. What is your day like?
Well, I want to tell you what the last couple of days like, but before that, can I share with the audience my stories?
Sure.
Well, in the past, for those of you guys who know me or may not know me, you heard a story that I'm a single mom. My husband died unexpectedly, and at that time, left me with 3 kids, and of course with no life insurance. And it was a very difficult time,
No life insurance?
No life insurance. And it's, it's one of those things where ladies, you ask your guy, what do you have? And the guy goes, I got it, under control. Well, sometimes it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes, when someone tells you they have it under control, ask them, what is it that they have under control? I made an assumption that he had a life insurance that was still intact, that was still active, and he died unexpectedly. And, lugging a baby 1 year old around and 15 or 16 without a home was not fun, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings me to what happened recently. Yesterday, my uncle had to be taken off the life support system.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I'm very sorry.
And, sometimes, you see your uncle and your family, and you're like, okay, they're good, they're well off. A lot of time, they raise kids, and you would think, financially they're secure, especially retiring from the corporate world and all that. But little did I know when I was near his deathbed that I found that he had used up all his money, no money left. There was not a helping hand out there because everybody got their own lives to live, so no one really paid attention, to give that financial help lending hand.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was also too proud to ask
for help.
Okay, so the day comes is that, do you blame the family, or do you blame him for not taking care of himself financially? Where is that? What's the most touching stories to me was having his wife said that they drove to a little restaurant, wanted a good dinner, and guess what? They turned around because he didn't have enough money to pay for the food. Because I don't know, it just gets to me in that. Yeah. So it makes me think twice. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let that ever happen to you, because that could happen to you. And then it brings me to today. I had a client came in to see me today. Husband came in 6 months ago. Died 2 days ago.
Wait a minute. He came in, he was okay?
He's
not
okay.
Sick, not any...
Well, he had diabetes. He had diabetes, a couple other medicine, and all was in control and everything else. And then he decided that, well, I'm going to go on vacation and not take my medicine. Travel, foreign country, came back 6 months later this year, came back in January, and then his condition got worse. The doctor said, you need to come and see me because you haven't been here a while. One of his eyes began to go blind, get shut down. The other one was same thing. Well, next thing you know, it just got out of the control that they, diabetes just took over and the other symptom, and he passed away. But what's interesting about this particular When he passed away, his wife came in with a stack of paper, and the paper was disarrayed, was everywhere. You couldn't tell what's what. I had to sat there for like almost 4 hours, sort out all the paper. There were things in there. There were life insurance that had canceled. There were life insurance that we didn't even know how much it had, or it had any. And there were life insurance that he had taken out because, as a man, he took control of it and would not let his wife know any of it. So she didn't know anything. Do you know she didn't even know his Social Security number? And when I said to her, and I goes, I do. She's like, well, how do you know his Social Security number? I said, I even have his driver license. And she said, well, how do you have his driver license? I said, because do you remember when you came in, I opened a policy for you, and I asked you who was the beneficiary, and you told me it was your husband?
So you captured that information. Yeah.
Because she couldn't go do anything anywhere without social. Anyway.
But Shirley, what does that say about us as women when we marry? You know, somehow we just turn everything over and we don't ask questions. We don't know anything. And when something happens, I've known of some situations like that too, where the women, something happens unexpectedly, and they know nothing at all about, you know, benefits.
And that's why it's so important that, you know, you got to have that conversation with each other. And then the other day, guess what else too? The husband, the same thing. The husband would say, well, the wife handles it all. And then I said, well, what does the wife have? I don't know, she does it all. You know, so it's a conversation that you see men and women both have. And it's such an important thing. You know, it's funny because, for example, you know, I know these young man, young lady that are operating this camera here. If I were to ask them today, what do they have for retirement? I guarantee with you, I know what the answer is.
Because when you're young, you think you're going to live forever. I mean,
and you say, well, I haven't thought about it really, or maybe I haven't started saving. And if you did have savings, you know, the question is, it's a safeguard from losses, you know. So all these are conversations that you see every day, people driving Uber, on the bus, everywhere. Out of 10 people I talk to, it's so sad because you see more than half of them don't plan and don't save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's go back to 2018. This is a new year. We've got some new tax laws that are out, and I'm just wondering, did you learn anything in Atlanta about 2018 and the new tax bill and how that affects, or does it affect some of the retirement benefits, life and health benefits?
That's the interesting thing. There is a lot of new products that has emerged in what I do in helping businesses to help decrease the taxes and do certain kind of things. But yesterday I had 2 tax CPA in my office, and they looked at me. They go, Shirley, the author who wrote the tax law book probably couldn't even understand what he wrote. So, and I looked at them and I said, so really, what are you going to do? And so they both looked at me like, we're going to retire from doing taxes.
Wow.
I swear. They're like, it is so complicated. And then they say, well, pass-through organization and the top rich 1% is going to benefit more than anybody else. You know, and then they tell me, they say, oh, by the way, in the tax law, if you're thinking these people that go work daily paycheck to paycheck, it's going to get more tax break on that, they're so wrong. And these are from tax advisor who's been there 20, 30, 40 years, that's read up on these laws. You know, and I'm like, wow, you know, and they said the things, the propaganda, some stuff they're saying is just amazing. You know, so as a business owner or individual, I would highly recommend, it's time. It's a new year. It's time for you to really take a look at your company, your current retirement plan. What do you have? Are there new benefits out there that's available? There are tons and tons of stuff, and this is not enough time for us to kind of talk about it. Probably another segment where we can do a whole scheme of that, you know. Yeah, you owe it to yourself. At least, you know, reach out to find out, you know.
Well, that brings a question up because I know that, you know, some employers are offering 401k plans, but I'm beginning to hear that all of the people under their, you know, in their employ, they're not taking advantage of that. And so is that good or is that bad? If you got an employer who's going to match retirement funds, is it nuts not to take advantage of that, or is there a reason, do you think, why they're not signing up for 401ks?
Well, the 401k plan is kind of interesting because it depends on the company and the employer where you work with. Because some 401k plan are set up with a matching a dollar for dollar, you know, and up to a certain amount of percent of their salary.
Right.
And then you've got other 401k that said, okay, you know what, I'm only going to match 50% to the dollar. Okay? And then there's other employers say, you know what, I'm going to be nice, I'm going to offer it just to offer it, but I'm not going to do any matching. Okay, and then those employees kind of flounder around. So you've got a variety of companies, depends how big of the pocketbook that they have. First of all, on the 401k. But what's one of the things is that certain 401k, believe it or not, some of the employers, if you don't have certain amount of percentage of employee participate, the company itself gets into a penalty.
Wait a minute. So if
the IRS,
it's a
yes, the IRS will hit
a penalty. I not
yes,
heard that before.
You know, audience out there, you're thinking, wow, you know, company gave me a 401k, I can participate. I don't. As a company, did you know, as a good gesture, you want to offer it, and yet the employee don't participate? As a corporation or company, sometimes you get penalized for that. I had one company 2 years ago got hit over $100,000 penalty. After that, they're like, I ain't doing this.
Right.
I mean, do you blame them?
Well, no. I mean, it depends. It's where you sit is where you stand. So if you're an employer, you're thinking one way, and if you're an employee, you know, you got other thoughts.
But from the employee standpoint, they don't know about that. They're like, I work paycheck to paycheck. I don't have the money to save, so therefore they don't participate. And again, you know, this whole cycle madness of savings and retirement, the kind of things that people living paycheck to paycheck, is such a crisis out there. And by the way, the market just took some down points. And for those of you guys who's sitting out there right now, money in the invested market, you know what? You think it's going to ride high, but guess what, guys? It's coming down. I believe a correction is coming. And if you don't believe me, watch.
It is coming. A correction is coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know, in my years, I don't want to give my age.
You're young.
Let's say I'm 100 years old. But I mean, I've worked for, you know, federal government. I've worked for city government. I've worked for state government. I've worked for corporations. I mean, I've just the whole gamut of different types of jobs. And not one of those organizations, in my opinion, has done a good job about explaining to employees what they really have. You know, the last government job that I left, I got this big package like that and a hug and how much everybody was going to miss me. I had no idea what I had in that package. And as a result of that, made a lot of dumb, you know, decisions on it because I didn't understand all of that stuff. And my question to you is, why is that? Why don't employers invest a little bit of time and make sure that their employees understand their benefit packages?
Well, Tia, how about this? Let's take a short break and I'll answer your question when we return.
Okay, you got it.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching Skills to Pay the Bills and today's segment of Shirley Luu Finance with your co-hosts Tia Young, that's me, and Shirley Luu, that's her. So, Shirley, you're going to answer a question for me.
Yeah, you know, going back to you saying about, you know, companies, whether or not these financial educations, you know, you get packages and you don't know what it is, and the employer are not quite stepping up to try to explain where everything is. And, you know, and a lot of time, I think employers should somewhat step up and bring more financial education to their employees so they could better understand, hey, you guys, you do this, this, and this is what it does. And, you know, I believe the reason why employee doesn't want to do that is because they find out it could be fiduciary responsibility. Oh my gosh, if I bring it in and get someone else talk about this, I could be liable, you know, when it comes to your investment saving, if you're lost or not, you know. Okay. So a lot of employees are fearful of that, so therefore they shy away from really, you know, teaching the employees what is it that they have. And you know, and what they should do is they really should rely on the company that using the benefit to provide that stuff to come in and not just teach about one product, but to kind of teach overall from the financial plan. You know, not just a 401k. Well, I could get hurt, get sick. That has nothing to do with a 401k. You know what I mean? So in life, I believe 3 things can happen to you and I. You know, you can either live too long, die too soon, or you're going to get sick. Right. Simple as that. So you, from a part of financial plan, just kind of think of that's the cornerstone of the 3 things that you should have when it comes to your well-being and your family well-being and your financial planning.
Here's another thing that I've always, now I know part of the answer to this now, but back in the day when I was, you know, working full time, I didn't. And that was, I was always confused about the differences between a financial services professional and then the financial planners, brokers, and that. You know, can you shed some light on that? What are they, one of the same, or is one higher than the other, or what? I mean, how does that work?
You know what? I think it depends where you work and how they title you where you work. For example, financial planner, those kind of things are more of wealth management. You know, sometimes you hear that term and those kind of things, and those has to do with, you know, the big boys, the Merrill Lynch of the world, the Ameriprise, the Wells Fargo, the Morgan Stanley. You know what I mean? Well, I'm wealth manager, I manage wealth, I do this and that. So those are kind of things. And then you've got the other side of it where you've got, you know, financial consultant. You know, you got those people that may work in an industry where they work a lot with on the annuity side and the life side and other kind of, you know, arena. So it's really a matter of some of them, they would have different title, like I'm a certified financial planner as well too, you know, so you got all these credential acronyms behind you, and it just show the credential where you've been, stuff like that. So again, some of them charges fees. The big boys charges you fees to manage your account, you know, whether regardless the market makes money or loses money. You still pay a fee. You still pay a fee. I had a client came in and he goes, "Do you know what? The other year I made 2% gain." And I looked at him like, 2%? What job? He said, "Yeah, the guy told me 2%." And I almost choke him. And then he said, then they turned around and told me, "Oh, you owe me 2% for the service fees on that management account." And that's when that client said, "I'm done." He said, "I'm not going to pay someone that, you know, to pay whether I make money or loses money in that case, you know." So
on that end, so he didn't do that. I know that in the past, you and I, we've talked about some of the products that people think of them as creative, especially the index annuity product. Do you agree with that? That's a highly creative tool? And does it work? Does it really work?
Well, I believe the industry has to change. Just like all of you guys, every one of you have a cell phone. Do you remember what the cell phone looks like 20 years ago, guys? It looks like a suitcase, right? The only thing it does is just makes a phone call, and you carry a suitcase around. Today, your phone is what? It does pictures, right? Videos. It does graphs, charts, presentation. It makes call. So the dynamic of the phone itself changes. New product emerge from the phone. It becomes a new product emerge to the new industry. Well, that's phone. The house, refrigerator, dishwasher, everything changed. But guess what? All of your financial planning tools are still operating on most of them are still in the old 30-year industry. The old traditional daggone 401k, the old traditional IRA, the very old traditional whole life insurance, term insurance, you know, variable insurance, or universal life. Why? Isn't it time that you guys need to take a look at, hey, what's new out there? You know, and when I talk about index product, where the product, when the market does perform, it goes up. When it goes down, it doesn't lose. Did you know some of the new life insurance?
Well, see, that's what people don't understand. That's what sounds like it's just unreal.
I know, it is. And you know, it is so unreal that I have thousands of clients follow me. Some of them, my clients last year, under the index life insurance, where it made 25% gain without no losses. And now it's locked down. I had clients that has annuity account and other stuff that did this kind of performance that, so okay, the market lost 10%, you know, 50 points today. My client didn't lose anything. It locked down. And so now I'm not saying that past performance predicts the future, you understand? Right. But I'm saying this to you is that I got result performance of what it has done for the past 10, 12, 13 years where my clients never lost a dime, only the upside like a staircase, with none of the downside of the staircase. And to me, if your financial tool is not having that, guys, you owe it to yourself to say, what in the heck is out there? But you know.
And do the research.
They do. They do need to research.
Do the research.
Look, guys, I'm on TV right now. I have a radio show on Sirius XM. Do you think I dare to get on national televisions or radio, local TV and radio and talk about things that don't exist? Mm-hmm. First of all, I know I've got regulators sitting out there looking at me right now. Second of all, you know, you've got other top-notch, you know, professional folks and that are looking, a competitor. Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is that take a look what you have, compare. If it makes sense to do it, if it doesn't, it does. But don't disregard index stuff. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back a little bit to something more personal.
Yes.
With you. I know many young women will look at you and they say, look, she appears to have it all together. You know, there are a lot of women out here, single moms and all, they're struggling, you know, and they have dreams, but they don't feel that they can, you know, that they can be successful. And especially successful like a businesswoman like yourself. Have you had a golden spoon in your mouth all your life? Do you know what it's like to have serious challenges? You know, not to know whether you're a house, whether you can keep a roof over your head for your kids. You know, do you know what that's like, Shirley?
You know, it's funny that you asked, and one day I'll write a book about it. Well, you know, my life, I was born into very fortunate, from Vietnam originally, very lucky, had the golden life. Okay, I had maid. I live in a well-established, you know, home. I had driver driving from here or there. You know, we had the president come to our house. You know, and we had chauffeur. We had everything. And then the war broke out. I no longer live in this villa. I moved to the United States. I live in this little inky-dink house that the roof to me looked so small because I was accustomed to like huge grand villa. Right. So, right, but because of the war, we had to leave our country. So I left all that glamorous life behind. Come over here. I hated it. I hated it here. Then through school and do other stuff. Then I got married. And then I had this well-established life again. Vacation, every 2 weeks out of a year, lived a lifestyle, right? House, beautiful, marble floor when you enter with open staircase. And then I would start somebody. And then suddenly, overnight, my husband died. And then guess what? All that gone. Then I struggled for a while there. To be honest with you, it was really tough. There were times, Tia, I had $100 in the bank, and with the 3 kids and stuff like that, you wonder how do you survive next week? Rob Peter to pay Paul. So what I'm trying to say, the message to you guys, that life can change in a dime. You and I are only one step away from being homeless at all if you are not properly planned. And that can change in a dime. So never take for granted what you do. I'm passionate what I do because I believe in the most rewarding thing is being able to help people, you know, do the retirement, pay the life insurance if they die, and if they're getting hurt and any of those kind of things, I'm there to make a difference. And hey guys, all I know is that, I mean, I've delivered many death claims, you know. I mean, there's nothing like for me to go to a family and reach out and give a $200,000 check. Did any of you ever give someone $200,000? I did. That's
great.
So to me, that's what makes it so, you know, and it's an honorable profession of what I do and what my team does, Tia. Right. And affiliated with you, what you do too, Tia. I admire what you do because I know not just being here bringing these kind of shows to the audience, but you also have a golden heart. You open up to everybody, you help, you just give and give and give. And that's the other thing, what makes me attracted as you as my partner, to be honest with you, all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was about to also let the audience know that you do a lot in the nonprofit arena as well. Yeah. You're always giving items and things to people in the community to help them out on that end. Yeah. We have about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes left. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about the team. Do you have enough people in this area to handle telephone calls that we might get, or how wide, how big is your team, and does it span the United States?
Well, you know what? Because of the growth I'm envisioning, we're looking at new building, new all the stuff, and I'm looking such a tremendous growth in 2018. I'm looking for good people. And I'm looking at people across the nations to come on board, to come with us. It's interesting because there was a gentleman met with me right before I came to see you. He said, I saw you on ESPN. And I'm like, ESPN, like the sport channel? And he goes, yeah. And I goes, how'd you see me on ESPN? He goes, your picture, you look like clam on there. They had my picture in the white suit and the red Ferrari and all this stuff, right? I goes, what show was it on? Guess what? He saw me on the Doc Walker show, the Rescue and Proville show with Doug Williams and all the other folks. Yeah, so it was interesting how that happened. But so I'm looking for expansion. So if you kind of know of anyone that want to be able to learn, to help, to reach out, to do all these kind of things and have one of the most rewarding careers you could have, please reach out to, Shirley Luu Finance. And again, it's Shirley Luu. It's L-U-U, Shirley. You can Google me. You will find me over the internet, And my contact is just 703-608-1203. Love to help.
Okay, Shirley, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were in town so we could do this together.
I know.
So we'll do it again real soon.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching our show today. We are living in a time of great change. Are you prepared for the changes that are upon us? Please take out some time and contact your financial services professional to make sure that you understand the new tax laws as they relate to you, your family, and your business. If you don't have a financial services representative, feel free to contact Dr. Shirley Luu at the website scrolling below and have that conversation. It's an important one. See you next week. Bye-bye.